What's up guys, welcome back to Texas Young Guns. Today we are tackling, well, honestly a killer of RVs. And what I'm talking about is propane leaks. It's never a good feeling when you're driving down the road and you start smelling that rotten egg smell. Now we were also having sewer issues at our last stop at Martin Dyes, but you don't want to play around with propane leaks. That's what causes fires, blow-ups, etc. So today my goal is to try to find the leak, and this is how I'm going to do it. So I got this little bottle here, a little cute bottle, and I put some Dawn in it. That way it makes a little soapy solution, mix it around, and you turn your propane back on and you slowly start spraying the connections. And if there's a leak, it should start to form bubbles. So I'm going to go around to all the connections. I've never done this before, but we certainly can't be having a propane leak. Or at least peace of mind that we don't have a propane leak when we're using our burners and stuff. So let's try to figure it out. Now you have multiple places it could be. You got your valve where I turn on the propane. About over here in this area is where the oven and stuff is. You also have your two furnaces, so we need to be checking those. So you have the valve, you have the furnace, and remember there's two. You have your oven, and then also, not to forget, on the other side is your RV fridge. So remember, the fridge, if it's the stock one from the factory, most likely runs off electric and propane. Now another thing that could be happening is you have the oven right here and the furnace. Those are the only things that are in a slide on my particular RV that are propane powered, or possible propane powered. So it's possible that the lines are getting crimped in the slide, so we'll also have to check the routing of that. Then of course underneath, see if I can get an image of it, you obviously can't forget the main culprit, and that's the tank. And of course our tank looks a little rough. Now we're going to check this fill valve, make sure it's not leaking. Okay, see, don't mistake the small bubbles, that's just natural. What we're checking for is big bubbles to blow up, and don't be afraid to use a lot. See, nothing's really forming there, so we should be good there. All right, so we'll check another easy one here. We're in the back side of the fridge. You can see I've already started. So the line runs, you can kind of see how it loops. So the line runs from the bottom up through this line, through this valve, and then from there you can kind of see the silver line kind of loops and then comes in there to where it burns in this stack. So we're going to check all those connections real quick and see what's going on here. So see, those are bubbles, but those are just from spraying. It'd be really obvious there was any leaks, and so far I'm just not seeing any. Ooh, small screws. Alright, so we got the cover off of one of our furnaces. Looks like it's fed over here by this line. So now we'll check these connections going into what I assume is some kind of regulator. This is probably your blower motor. Man, it looks ancient. But let's check this. And of course this is your exhaust. So once again, I'm not seeing any leaks. Okay, so we're at the second heater here. Same setup as the other one, same model and everything, it's just this one is set up vertically. And we'll do the same thing. We'll check our connections, which are right there, and see if we see any leaks. Yeah, so same kind of a deal. You know, normal suds just from spraying it, but nothing blowing out. It would be very obvious. Now on the back side of the RV we have our hot water heater. This is, I think, the last easy item that we can check, meaning the one that's easy to get to. So we'll check these. So your burner's here. Your burner goes into this tube. So your feed line is right here. And so we'll check those connections and see if we have any leaks here. Now, we've never used the propane part of this hot water heater. We've always just used the electric. So let's check these connections. All right, I'm not seeing anything. Like I said, you're probably looking at the suds thinking that, oh, it's a leak, but no, it's very obvious whenever you have a leak. All right, so we have checked all the obvious stuff, or rather the easiest stuff on the outside. So now we have no choice but to get underneath and check all those connections as well. I think we'll go ahead and start with the tank. Got my handy dandy crawler, which is nice. So we are under here in the tank. We do have a little bit of surface rust, which is pretty normal for these. Anyway, so the connections, we have all kinds of lines running out of this tank. We have this line, which I don't really care for how it's laid out, because all kinds of road debris can come hit this line and knock it out, cause a dangerous situation. You have all your tank regulator, what have you, right there. There's like a backup valve in there. These lines, as you can see, run everywhere. So they got here, there's a metal line that goes that way. I'll check that. And obviously the oven above me takes it somehow, so we'll have to find the connections for that. Nothing bubbling there either. I've also checked this metal line here, and I'm going to continue to check it down for any leaks on it as well. Yeah, as I mentioned before, I don't really like how this line is just kind of precariously slung along the side here. It's kind of odd. So I might have to do something about that. Also, I'm noticing a little bit of rust on the frame, so I might get a wire wheel to that and coat it, kind of help protect it. So as you can see, the line in the bottom that runs up here that I'm not liking, it looks like it's just a vent. You can see it runs all the way out and then out towards the end. So that must be for liquids or some kind of venting process. If any of you guys know what that's for, let me know. I still don't like how it's placed, but at least I know it's not a live line. The line we do want to check is this guy. All the way back here. Looks like it runs up in there, so we need to check those connections. So as you can see, same story. No real bubbling or leaking that you can see on that joint. No active bubbling out of that one either. So we'll just continue to keep checking on. So at this point, we've checked everything we can on the outside. We've checked the fridge, the connections at the fridge for the propane lines for any leaks. We've checked the tank itself, we checked the valve, we checked the furnaces. So really the only thing left is trying to get under the oven and checking those connections. If we don't find anything there, I feel pretty confident that the smell was just the sewer issues we're having, but hey, you can never be too careful. So let's see if we can get access under the oven. Funny thing, I've never actually been on the oven before, so I don't really know if this is even the access panel, but it's right underneath it, so seems logical that it would be. Well, let's take a gander here. Alright, so we have our ducting. Appears to be the ducting for the heat.
And of course it was a waste of time to open this because there's no connections to the oven back here to go look at. So there's the connections in the back. We'll just check those. See if we see any leaks, and I don't.
All right, so at this point we checked everything that we can check. I feel pretty confident that we don't have any issues. However, there is one thing I just thought of that we'll go ahead and do, and that is to go outside. I just turned the fridge onto LP, so now it cranked up on LP. I could hear it running. We'll go ahead and check the connections while it's running, because it's possible that propane, once I turned the fridge off earlier, that the propane was not getting past some kind of check valve or something. So I'm gonna go out there while it's running and I'm gonna check it. All right, so now you can see the fridge running. You look in the little hole, so the burner's going. And remember, if you remember what I showed you earlier, the propane valve is right there. It runs to that silver line, and that silver line goes all the way over into and feeds into the burner. So let's check this line real quick again. So there's a few reasons what's going on here. You know, we were having the sewer issues, which I'm going to be installing another black tank cleaner, spray nozzle that you can utilize when you're emptying your black tanks. So we were having that issue, which, I mean, it's kind of gross to think about, but the smell was probably similar. During the whole time during that thing, the smell was really strong. I think if we had LP gas coming into the cabin, our detector would have went off, because it is active. We have smoke detectors. We have the manufacturer stock detector that's in the RV. It never went off. So I think it was just a case of mistaken cause, but hey, like I mentioned before, propane is a RV killer. So I absolutely do not feel bad about going through the rigmarole of checking all the connections, making sure we're good. I'm glad that we are, so I don't have to repair anything. Because honestly, I put so much work into this RV, and the last one, I'd like a break and just be able to use it, but that's part of RV life, right? Here's our stock detector here, LP gas detector. I don't know if you can see because of the light. Let me turn the light off here. You can see it's active. Anyways, guys, I hope you enjoyed this video. We'll see you on the next one. Remember to like and subscribe to our channel if you like our content. We do a lot of how-to videos, a lot of travel vlog style videos, a lot of park reviews, that kind of thing. So I think you should join, and I think you'll like it. So we'll see you on the next video. Bye.